Yeah, it's true.
And
Look at all of our devices. Can you imagine Becky and I trying to sleep at night and we've got all of these cords charging every single thing? Yeah.
In our digital lives, we're no strangers to smart devices that track our every move, search, and like. But then I logged onto Amazon to buy dog food and got an ad for their new fitness tracker, Halo. It counts your steps, tracks your sleep, and analyzes the tone of your voice so you can be more positive in your day-to-day interactions.
Tone of voice analysis is a step too far that I find deeply disturbing. So naturally, I bought a Halo to test it out.
I convinced my maker friend Becky to get one too, so we could team up to ask a few questions.
One is, does the technology work? The second is it useful? And then the third is this something that we need to measure, actually?
Before we get to that though, we have some unboxing to do.
I got the grey colour, which was probably called smoke or mist or something like that. Oh, it's called winter. There you go. Nothing can be grey anymore.
The Amazon Halo is a pretty typical fitness tracker. It has an accelerometer, heart rate monitor, temperature sensor, and they all provide you feedback and scores on your sleep patterns and physical activity.
It's bigger than I would have expected. It has some nice, possibly compostable packaging here, which, just offsets all of Amazon's other activity in every corner of the world. Taking it off here, we can see that it has a Velcro band, innovation coming from the space age. That's nice to see.
It has a screenless wristband that communicates with an LED light, and it also has a microphone. And no digital device is complete without the most important, most essential, most smart component.
Get the app. Ooh, I have to download their app. I'm kind of resistant to giving every single piece of information to Amazon, but for everyone out there wondering, my birthday is the 3rd of March. Please send me gifts. Thank you. How tall am I? Just wants to know everything about me.
The app, somewhat like the tracker itself, is both intrusive and intriguing.
Okay, so on the app it says you can sound hopeful, elated, hesitant, happy, worried, or confused, angry, or affectionate. How can it even tell what all of these different emotions are through the tone of your voice when that varies so much from cultures and accents and intonations and cadences and everything? I'm so stressed that this device is claiming to do this, because it can have a big impact on how people change their behavior or live their everyday lives. And where is all of this science coming from? This unboxing just got very serious.
I had to dig deeper. So I decided to go old school and get an analog sounding board. A conversation with a friend.
How am I being skeptical and stubborn? And now I'm amused and I'm angry
and you're
at
also
it.
embarrassed.
This is Becky Stern, a maker and educator who has way more experience with this kind of tech than I do. So much so, she actually tore the band apart.
The training data had to involve people characterizing other people's speech, right? It had to have come from and then the machine takes the results from the human saying this speech was positive, neutral, or whatever. And so it's interesting psychology to think of what the training situation was like, because those people who are sitting there analyzing the tone of the sample people that they're listening to or the sound recordings that they're listening to, they have a bias too. I want to meet them.
And this leads to a lot of questions about how the band and tone analysis actually works.
How does the tone feature work?
They try to cover it up how it works, right? They try to make you just trust it. Say, we know what your tone is. But it's been trained. It's a artificial intelligence, machine learning situation where they've trained their app on some kind of set of data based on what they must have collected it. So people talking and then people saying that they thought that their tone was this, or this.
The Halo band analyzes your voice using 2 factors, positivity and energy. According to an Amazon spokesperson, a group of employees listened to tens of thousands sequence of vocal samples and decide whether the voice was happy or sad, and if it was tired or excited. And AI then used this data to learn how to classify tone of voice.
But when you speak, the app says right now, I'm passionate.
Excited, confident, delighted.
Well, this is you now.
It confuses me for Vanessa because it's not very good at differentiating.
Because we sound so similar, the two of us.
Yeah, so I don't know. I get in general how they trained it.
Yeah.
But we don't know who trained it. We don't know how much data. And we don't know how they got these specific words where they are on the chart.
Yeah, not only are these two parameters of positivity and energy both vague and inadequate, this tech has another flaw that I take personally.
There was one article where an Amazon representative said that if you have an accent, it will be less accurate. But I find that hilarious because what accent? Like literally everyone has an accent.
Yeah.
You may recall some videos I've made over the years on people's bias towards tone and accents. How people rate low-pitched male voices as more attractive, low-pitched female voices as more believable, or people with foreign accents as less credible. So if there's cultural bias at play in how the tone analysis works, is that still useful?
In order for Halo's tone analysis to be accurate and useful, it needs to account for what different tones mean in different parts of the world. There's not necessarily a default tone for positivity or negativity or high energy or low energy. So it would need to take data points from people genuinely expressing those tones in all different places across accents and cultures and cadences. And where do we even get started on sarcasm?
I'm trying to think of what cultures are like really known for faking their interest or concern, or
American,
especially Southern Americans, right? Or like, bless your heart means like, screw you.
Really?
Often it does.
The halo appears to be modelled around a West Coast American accent and cadence. So if it can't even grasp the emotional charge of speakers on the other side of the same country, what hope do people from all around the world have in an accurate tone analysis?
I think part of it is Australian/British politeness, you know, like I was pretty upset about something earlier today, like someone lost one of my packages. And I was like, I'm so sorry to bother you. I know you're really busy, but I think you've misplaced this. and this was like, you're being friendly and amused. I'm like, I'm pretty angry that you lost my package, actually, but I'm not going to yell at you because I wouldn't do that.
The band thought I was positive all the time, in all kinds of scenarios. So I started to wonder what other accent might be rated as negative, even when they're intending to be positive.
All right, should we train this for Arnie?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Learning does not make one learned.
There are those who have knowledge and those who have understanding.
Yeah, we trained the Amazon Halo to recognize Arnold Schwarzenegger's voice.
You tell me, who is your daddy and what does he do?
School. I'm going to be your sheriff. You're going to be my deputy trainees.
Overbearing, aggressive, irritated.
Come on. Stop whining.
When you've fallen down a rabbit hole, you can always go a little bit further.
You lack discipline.
Angry.
So the Amazon Halo jury is in. Vanessa Hill's tone is overwhelmingly positive. Arnold Schwarzenegger, on the other hand, is just a plain old negative Nancy. But Arnie aside, is tone analysis actually necessary? Is it something that we need to measure?
I find it's useless for me for policing my own tone, as if policing your tone is a thing you should be doing. But I feel like that's what they want you to use this device for. Like, what am I like and how could I be different? It wasn't a very positive psychological experience for me to see this tone data, even though it's saying that I'm amused, happy. It didn't give me any useful information.
And this is perhaps an unintended consequence of technology like this. We're already a society becoming hyper aware of our daily movements, from physical activity to sleep. What's the impact of us having more information on how we speak, which isn't as objective?
Well, I looked at the comments, the reviews on Amazon just to try to see what people were saying about tone of voice. And
It wasn't great. Some people were saying that I sounded condescending all the time. That was from a woman as well. There was a man who said, it always says I sound sad. And that comment or review just resonated with me so much because psychologically that can have a pretty huge impact on you. Like if you're using something that is billed as like an objective kind of expert device and it's telling you you're sad, that can affect your behavior in certain ways, like that it can affect your mental health in certain ways. Like all of this feedback is training us to be more positive and more high energy. And why is that necessary? Like, what if I just want to be low energy, negative person? Or even a lot of comedians who are genuinely really funny have a kind of low energy delivery on things.
Yeah, it's like a deadpan,
Yeah, like some people just kind of speak like that.
Experts say that worrying about our tone of voice during a social interaction, instead of focusing on the interaction itself, may be detrimental, making it harder to meaningfully connect.
Because it could also lead you to avoid certain conversations.
Yeah.
Like if you were having a conversation with your mum or dad or significant other or husband or wife or whatever, and it was saying that you were being like sad and condescending, but it was about a really important topic, it might make you less likely to have those important conversations because you're just like worried about how you would come across. So this excessive self-monitoring is bad for us in a lot of ways. Like if it tells us we're sad, we think we're being sad and we feel sad and it can manipulate our behavior, but then it can also make us avoidant as well, which definitely isn't a good thing. The one thing that I thought this maybe could be useful for is someone who has autism or is neurodivergent in another way, and they don't think they're picking up on a lot of cues in social situations, but they want to practice or try or like see how they sound if they can't really gauge that. Maybe they could use this. But I really don't think that that is a good or necessary use case even.
Practicing for a TED Talk, maybe?
Yeah, I would like you to answer my questions. Does this work?
No.
Is it useful?
Even if it worked, it wouldn't be useful.
Should we be measuring something like tone?
Not with our biased training data.
So we have 3 no's. I need a bell, but you can just put it in post. Ding, ding, ding. 3 no's.
In theory, tone analysis could be useful, but in practice, it's not useful when it's not accurate and we have almost no idea how it was developed.
Something that would help me believe that this is accurate is for them to share the training data set with us.
As far as I'm concerned, tone of voice analysis enters the territory of excessive self-monitoring with little actual benefit to your behavior or our brains. There are some things that we can track that are actually useful, like your steps or sleep, and it's okay for all of us to say, let's stop there. As the great Arnold Schwarzenegger once said in Total Recall, what's the point of being on this earth if you're going to be like everyone else? Or something to that effect. I don't have total recall. I'm so sorry.
If you'd like to see the insides of the Halo, Becky Stern did a teardown over on her YouTube channel. Please head over there with me and subscribe right now, or otherwise you'll have to sit through her Schwarzenegger voice impressions. You have been warned.
Yeah, I think that what I am going to do is give it away to someone in the comments. Whoever has the most liked comment on this video.
Better tell a funny joke.
I'm going to message them, if you can still DM people on YouTube, and ask if they want this. So this is just a competition that's now running on my YouTube channel, low-key competition. Most liked comment is going to win this.
Oh, I hope I get it.
Straight from my wrist to yours.
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom. It was the age of foolishness. It was the spring of hope. It was the winter of despair.